What is up, guys, and welcome back to episode number 55 now of the Leeds United career mode here on YouTube. Kicking the episode off by showing you the league table. We are the only side yet to be defeated in this Premier League, so that is absolutely crazy. The fact of the matter is we've just got such a good side here now at Leeds that I do believe personally we can win this Premier League title. We sat 7 points clear after 16 games, so right now we're basically in a league of our own. We are just head and shoulders above the rest of the competition in the league, but we do have our first game of the episode here coming up against Aston Villa, a very tough opponent that has been for us in previous seasons. Looking to make sure that this season they don't cause us that much of an issue. They have been quite a tough or difficult game to play against. Obviously back in the Championship days when we were in the Season 1 of this career mode, we struggled against them there. We have obviously had a couple of good games against them as well in the Premier League last season. But coming into this one here at Ellen Road, I felt confident that we would be able to get ourselves a victory in this one. You're looking at the league table at the moment, 16 games, 12 wins, and 4 draws. It's absolutely amazing to see. The fact that we've also scored 25 goals, 30 goals I do believe, and 5 conceded so far, is even better, because last season we were struggling in terms of goals, but right now we are the top goal scoring team at 30. Underneath that is Spurs, obviously, who are sat second at the moment in the league. So we had a game against them last episode, which I called an early title decider, if you will. The only reason I named it that was because I felt as though if we won that game, that would knock Spurs down even further down the pecking order behind us. So we did manage to win that. If you haven't already seen that episode, I apologise for spoiling it. Go back and watch it before you watch this one, because this episode won't be as entertaining in my opinion as that one was. There is a game coming up later on against Stoke in the episode where we could well meet our old face in Alban Lafont in goal, as he will try and stop us from scoring and winning the game there, although it could be Jack Butland who actually plays in that one. But regardless of that, we did take on Villa, and 33 minutes into the game, Eriksen did test the goalkeeper in the back of between the sticks for Villa on the day. It was a very, very decent effort. We obviously saw him once score one of those against Leicester previously for us, but he was unable to repeat his heroics there for us there. But we brought on Emre Moore at half-time, one of the substitutions that I seem to be doing quite a bit in this career mode. He then came up with the goods in the second half to make it Leeds United 1, not Burnley, what the hell am I talking about? Villa 0, that's what I meant to say. So very, very nicely worked goal. I have to say as well, we keep bringing Emre Moore off the bench, and he keeps doing the business for us in this career mode. So some point, I may have to consider starting him alongside possibly Anwar El Ghazi. Right now, El Ghazi is actually the top goal scorer in the Premier League, so there's no chance we are ever going to drop him out of our starting 11. It's going to literally be, there is a chance maybe for him to get some, rest, but at the moment, I want to try and get him that golden boot in the Premier League. I've never had a career mode where I've actually got a striker, or even any player for that matter, in FIFA 17 where I've managed to get a golden boot, because it just felt as though it was so hard to score goals in Legendary this year that I just couldn't do it. But to say the fact that we've scored 30 already in this season, I am over the moon with that, and the fact that Anwar's obviously scored as many as he had is even better. But 82 minutes into the game, Villa would hit back, and it came at the hands of me being poor defensively, but late on in the game I really should be better than this. It comes to Westwood in the, it comes to one of their players, sorry. Vertu flicks it along the corner to Westwood into the path of Gill, and Gill makes it Leeds United 1, Aston Villa 1. In the dying few minutes of the game, I was absolutely gutted. I couldn't believe it. I was thinking, I can't believe I'm going to draw this one here. But the thing is, when you've got Emre Moore in your team, when you've got a bunch of class players compared to what Villa have, no disrespect to them, it comes to Eriksen here, who actually goes down and gets himself a free kick in this one, 87 minutes. He's obviously going to step up and take it, because he's just the best player, the best free kick taker we've got at the club. Saying that though, Anwar did score an absolute screamer against Manchester City towards the back end of last season. He takes his strike on, but unfortunately was unable to beat the goalkeeper. But we did get our corner for ourselves. Eriksen whips the ball in, and the computer-controlled Kalash rises above the entirety of the players in the box to nod us 2-1 in the lead. I couldn't believe it. The computer actually aiding me during that one. I said, was it last episode or the episode before that? I can't quite remember off the top of my head. That when the computer works for you, it really works. But sometimes the computer can actually hinder you. However, there, the computer controlled Kalash, and he nodded the ball into the back of the net to make it Leeds 2, Villa 1. So 2 late goals in the game, going to 1 at either side. Villa surely must have thought that that goal would get themselves a point on the day, but we hit back very, very late into the game to make it 2-1, and we are currently looking like we're going to pick up 3 points from this home game here against Villa. So courtesy of a Kalash goal as well, I would like to mention that. He hasn't featured as much as I would have hoped this season for us, but that's because we've got Vertonghen and we do have Hernandez, so those two at centre-back are just going to be even better. And right now, I've actually gone to be using De Siglio at right-back, and I've put Joe Gomez into the side at left-back. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens regarding those guys, and there obviously is a couple more players that you guys have suggested in previous episodes for me to take a look at and try and sign in the January window, so we will be doing that next episode when the window does in fact open. It opens at the back of this episode, which is why you're only going to be seeing 2 games in today's episode, and you will be seeing obviously jam-packed episodes for the next few episodes until we get past the transfer window. But to pick up 3 points there from Villa, I was extremely happy. And the fact that we are now moving on to 13 wins and 4 draws in this season with 0 losses, it's becoming a real possibility, guys, that we possibly could go unbeaten. And that would be insane. I'm not expecting it. I've got my ambitions high, but my expectations low for this one. I'm not expecting us to even hit or get an unbeaten run going, but the fact that we've gone, what is it now, 17 Premier League games unbeaten, just shows that if we can hold on to it for the next, if we get 2 more games, that's halfway to the season completed. And if we're unbeaten in the first half, there's no reason why we can't do exactly the same. That means none of the sides in the Premier League have beaten us this season so far. And we've obviously, once we hit 19 games, we'll have played every single team at least once. Some of those will have been at home, some of them away, so it's going to be one of those games. I came into this one against Stoke, though, and it was actually Jack Butland who was named in goal for them on the day. It wasn't Lafont, who we actually sold to them for 31 million. So that was a bit of a bonus to me, because I thought to myself, if it was Lafont, players have a hindrance of obviously going back and, or rather, what's the word? Players have a, what's the word I'm looking for? Is it, I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, players seem to play well when they're coming back against their former clubs. Let's just call it that way. So if we did come up against Lafont, then it would be actually difficult for us to try and score. But thankfully, it was Jack Butland who actually came up against here. We came up against a very decent Stoke side as well. A lot of their players have stayed on at Mark Hughes' side. There's a number of players as well I wouldn't mind getting into this Leeds United side. However, I feel confident with our side at the moment. I don't think we need to do too much in terms of bringing anybody new in just yet. Obviously, I want to try and get our best possible side and compete in the Champions League. And to do that, we first got to get in the Champions League, but if we do get the Champions League this season, I will have to look at maybe squad depth and getting in some absolute quality players as well that we can obviously use and around. The Font was actually on the bench for Stoke on the day. He's just obviously been named there. The first chance, though, came the way of Stoke City. 29 minutes into the game. Afellay down the right-hand side from a throw-in. Gives it inside here, I do believe, after a shot comes. It comes to Mbula, is his name? Mbula. It comes to Arnautovic, and Arnautovic just in the end finishes that one off to make me look like a mug. But I have to say, Stoke ran me ragged on the day. This was an absolutely wonderful game to play because I actually thoroughly enjoyed this one. It was one of those games in FIFA where anybody could have taken the points away from this. So the fact that Stoke took the lead inside 30-something minutes, and it was actually a very nicely worked goal, I have to say, by Stoke, made me a very, very frustrated man. However, I was looking to hit back pretty much instantly, but I give the ball away stupidly here coming in the seconds. Remy tried to make the pass. In the end, it gets cut out by Shaqiri. I don't know what on earth I was thinking of doing there. Shaqiri goes inside to Mbula, who actually had an absolute unbelievable game today. He gives it back to him after a nice 1-2. It comes to Shaqiri. I'm thinking, surely going to be 2-0. I was thinking, I can't believe this. But a good save from Leno. And then an absolutely wonderful sliding tackle from Hernandez stopped Stoke from making it 2-0 to themselves. But the resulting corner, Stoke going to whip this one in with Arnautovic. It comes to, I do believe, a Stoke City man. His header comes back off the post after a very, very weird one going on there. But then we countered, and Iwobi sent through like Remy, who's just got so much pace. And when he comes up against a Stoke defender, provided they don't have too much pace, they've obviously got the likes of Shawcross and people like that. I was confident he could win in a foot race, and he actually took it round the defender, goes inside of his man, and for some reason, none of them make a tackle. It's like they looked at each other as if to say, you tackle him, no you. And then once we got in the area, they seemed reluctant to put a foot out in case they would give a penalty away. So as you can see, it's a half-hearted tackle there from the Stoke man. And Remy basically ran it from the halfway line into the back of the net as Butland tried to make the save, but was unable to do so. So, credit Remy for that one, because that was an absolutely unbelievable run to get us back in the game. However, that was short-lived, as in the second half, Stoke City will come back the other end. 54 minutes into the game. Arnautovic now inside to Joe Allen. Joe Allen goes back to Arnautovic. Arnautovic down the line here to Taylor. Taylor, just on the day, guys, it was just so tough trying to keep Stoke out. They actually created some very nice chances for themselves, you're going to see as well. They get a lot of luck there. Taylor, the ball bounces back to him, but that's just poor from me, in all honesty. And the fact that Leno then comes out and only just doesn't make the save is even worse. However, I did deserve to get scored on. That's poor defensively. And 74 minutes into this one, Stoke City with yet another corner here. And you're going to see again, it's pretty much a counter-attack once again from me. Stoke tried to get themselves a chance on the go. I think Mbula in the end having the overhead kick, which is just crazy to see. The fact that obviously the AI is trying to overhead kicks. 88th minute of this one, we pick ourselves up a free kick, and you're thinking, surely not. Surely not a 90th minute screamer from the likes of Christian Eriksen. I lined this one up perfectly. 30 yards out, Christian Eriksen, boom! 90 minutes on the clock, Stoke City 2, Leeds United 2, an absolutely crazy equaliser to get. I was so happy when this ball went into the back of the net, an absolutely wonderful free kick as well. Crazy scenes here at the Stoke City Stadium. I think it's called the Stoke City Stadium now. But that is absolutely mental from Christian Eriksen. What a free kick that was to get a point from the game here. Because honestly, guys, I was thinking at this point, I can't believe we're going to lose the unbeaten run to Stoke City. We've obviously come up against some very tough opposition this season in the Premier League. So to lose it against Stoke, no disrespect to Stoke, I just felt as though we should have on the day had a better performance from them, and in all honesty, they deserve to win the game. They absolutely battered me here, but thankfully we've got ourselves back into it with another equaliser. This one was absolutely sensational from Christian Eriksen. A wonderful free kick to find the back of the net and make the score 1-1, and that was the way the game would end. Crazy good free kick from Eriksen. We've managed to get ourselves a point, but most importantly, we are still undefeated in the Premier League. That's what I was looking to do there. As soon as I knew that Eriksen had that chance to line the free kick up, I was praying that it would end the back of that. You can see by the match facts, though, we got battered. 7 shots to our 4, 5 shots on target to our 3. But all that matters is that stat that's in the top right corner, and that you put the ball in the back of the net. And we did that twice today, just as Stoke did for themselves as well. However, I would have liked to have said, you can see Mbula did, is it Mbula? I don't know how you say his name, I apologise, but he did actually pick up man of the match on the day for Stoke. He was an absolute boss in that game. He absolutely dominated me in midfield, and I couldn't really get myself into the game. And the 2 chances we had came from a Remy Wonder run and a Eriksen Wonder strike. So 2 very good goals today in terms of one of them not being the greatest, but it was a good run. The second one, though, is absolutely sensational from Christian Eriksen. A wonderful free kick to get ourselves back into the game. You can see as well we have an offer here for Anwar El Ghazi, 28 million from Sheffield Wednesday, actually, which is very weird. I wasn't expecting to see them have as much money as they do there, but we're going to instantly decline that and say no, we want to keep hold of Anwar. He's a top scorer in the Premier League. There's no reason for us to get rid of him. There's absolutely, it'd just be stupid for us to do it. So you can see 18 games into the Premier League season, 44 points, undefeated. Still a very, very good run of form we are in at the moment. We are coming towards the end of this episode, though. If you have enjoyed, smash that like button. Thank you all so much for watching. Next episode, we will be having the January transfer window, so hopefully you'll enjoy that as well. You can see our shortlist. We've got a number of players that I'm looking at bringing in. Other than that, I've been Danny. Like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all for the next episode very soon. Adios.